Hello, my name is Michael Dunn. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina, in the United States. Um, I went to college at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Graduated with a bachelor's in English in 1986 and a master's of arts in teaching English in 1989. I taught briefly. Had some difficulty with managing children's behavior, so I left and I did other kinds of work. Notably, I um, managed a used bookstore at the Raleigh airport for 13 years. Anyway, I also tutored off and on for about 8 to 10 years. My one student that I tutored and was very fond of was Jo, and he was from South Korea, and I tutored him for 2 years. And when he left me, he was quite a talented writer. Anyway, today I'm going to read from C.S. Lewis's series, The Chronicles of Narnia, and I'll be reading from the first book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. First chapter is entitled Lucy Looks into a Wardrobe. Once there were 4 children whose names were Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. This story is about something that happened to them when they were sent away from London during the war because of the air raids. They were sent to the house of an old professor who lived in the heart of the country, 10 miles from the nearest railway station and 2 miles from the nearest post office. The professor had no wife, and he lived in a very large house with a housekeeper called Mrs. McCready and 3 servants. Their names were Ivy, Margaret, and Betty. They do not come into this story much. The professor was a very old man with shaggy white hair, which grew over most of his face, as well as on his head, and they liked him almost at once. But on the first evening he came out to meet them at the front door, he was so odd looking that Lucy, who was the youngest, was a little afraid of him, and Edmund, who was the next youngest, wanted to laugh and had to keep on pretending he was blowing his nose to hide it. As soon as they had said good night to the professor and come upstairs on the first night, the boys came into the girls' room and they all talked it over. "We've fallen on our feet, and no mistake," said Peter. "This is going to be perfectly splendid. That old chap will let us do anything we like." And it goes on from there. Well, thank you for your time and consideration, and please contact me if you need anything else. Thank you.